Welcome to Friday Takeaway. This week we are looking at two GLCs, MRCB and Telekom Malaysia, but before that, the US Treasury Department has stopped short of declaring China a currency manipulator, but said that it is keeping it on a watch list together with the likes of Germany, Japan, Switzerland, Korea and India. By doing this, an escalation of a trade war that has sent shockwaves throughout the world was averted. Though the US added it remains deeply disappointed that China still lacks currency transparency in its forex dealings. UMNO President and former Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Zahid Hamidi was arrested this week. This means that both the former PM and DPM have been charged under anti-money laundering laws. In a statement, the MACC said that Zahid was arrested at 3:15 PM on Thursday in Putrajaya, and that he faces several charges under the MACC and anti-money laundering laws related to funds from Yayasan Akal Budi that allegedly went to pay his credit card bills. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir has launched a mid-term review of the 11th Malaysia Plan to recalibrate and realign the plan's initial goals. The review has found that economic inequality between the states have widened despite an overall increase in GDP. Selangor, the FT, Sarawak and Johor continue to be the main growth contributors, while KL, Labuan, Sabah, Melaka, Selangor, Johor and Penang recorded higher GDP rates, higher than the national average of 5.1% driven by services, manufacturing and construction activities. The challenge, experts say, centres on balancing growth with fiscal discipline, while also introducing new policies and incentives to boost FDIs and more high-tech industries. Cigarette prices are due to rise at the end of this month, according to the Health Minister, Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, in line with the recent sales and service tax implementation on September the 1st. Understandably, BAT's share price reacted positively to the news. So in this week's This or That, we tell the story of two GLCs. MRCB is major owned by EPF. They had a good week thanks to news that the LRT3 project would continue. But Telekom Malaysia, major owned by Khazanah Nasional, is still in the doldrums with the new government measures to cut broadband costs and increase speeds. So let's begin. Via the government sovereign wealth fund, Khazanah Nasional, TM is a GLC that is also one of the country's largest telcos, offering fixed line, data and broadband services to consumers and businesses. TM is the local telco sector's worst performer this year. It's lost more than half its market value since January, with the new government setting into motion plans to introduce more foreign competition while forcing incumbent players like Telekom Malaysia to drop prices and to reduce speeds. On top of that, CIMB research said that TM could be excluded as a constituent stock of the FBM KLCI, and that if its market cap situation does not change by end November, it could be removed from the benchmark. Despite its problems, Telekom Malaysia is still the dominant player in the fixed line and consumer broadband market with its Unify and StreamX services. Investors will also still cheer its fixed dividend policy after announcing that it will achieve this by reducing its capex, thereby supporting the share price in the near term. Alliance DBS Research has maintained its hold recommendation on Telekom Malaysia, but has set a lower target price of RM3.30, saying that the market is pricing in declining user revenues for its Unify service over the long term. Overall though, of the 28 or so analysts who cover the stock, only 5 are a buy, 15 are a hold, while 8 are either a reduce or sell on Telekom Malaysia. MRCB, another government-controlled company, this time via the government pension fund EPF, is a property developer, construction engineer and infrastructure concession owner. Its notable projects include KL Central, where it is the master developer, along with Kwasa Central and MRT2. MRCB was boosted this week by news that the government said it would continue with the LRT3 project at half the cost. But given that so many mega projects have been cancelled or postponed, you can put this in the win column for MRCB. As it stands now, the project will proceed at a cost of 16.6 billion ringgit under a fixed rate structure and no longer the project delivery partner model. Well, despite news that LRT3 will proceed, MRCB's outlook remains weak. As it stands, they have already reported disappointing first half results due to slow property sales and progress billings and losses at their infrastructure division, while the local property market still remains in the doldrums and market sentiment is still weak. MIDF has said that the impact on earnings is quote-unquote reasonable after taking into consideration the final earnings contribution and the extension of the project deadline from 2020 to 2024. As a result, they maintain their buy call on MRCB with a target price of RM1.07 per share. Overall, though, of 10 analysts who cover the stock, 5 are a buy, 4 are a hold and only 1 recommends a reduce on the stock.